Hello, everyone. I am Dana Abercrombie, and I am the entertainment editor over at thecoalition.com. And I am here to bring to you the wonderful review of WandaVision. This is Disney Plus's WandaVision. I was able to see the first 3 episodes of the show, and oh my gosh, you're in for such an amazing treat. I loved each and every episode, and I'm going to tell you why exactly you should be watching WandaVision. So, as we already know, WandaVision will be streaming on Disney Plus starting January 15th. And this is a show that takes place directly after the events of Endgame. Now, when we last saw Endgame, this the very end of Endgame, we was able to see both Wanda and Hawkeye. They had lost what was it? I'm sorry. They lost Natasha, and Vision. And at the very end, I remember that there was a clip where they was by the lake, and they kind of said to each other, I'm reading right off of my list here. It said, "I wish there was a way I could let her know that we won, that we did it." And she said, she knows they both do. And many people was like, "What exactly does that mean?" They was talking about Natasha. And she was talking about Vision, who tragically died not once, but twice. And this here is going to take place directly after the events. How much time has passed since Endgame to now, we don't know. At least in the first 3 episodes, it never fully explains what exactly happened between that time. But we are thrust right into this really wonderful, beautiful world of kind of like the classic TV 50s genre, where they are in this wonderful marital, not necessarily marital, but I say that because there's a storyline. We'll get to that later on when we actually see the episodes, and I'm not going to spoil or tell you anything about. But when we get to that, we're going to see that they are living in a wedded, wonderful bliss. And this is going to be one of those happy, feel good kind of moments where they feel like, they've been together, they're married, they feel like the chemistry is great, and we really get a deep dive into their relationship and everything that is, what they would perceive to be as a marital bliss relationship, where things are is kind of corny, but it just works. And we're able to really see both Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany really allow themselves to be amazing comedic actors. And I remember Elizabeth Olsen, she played in this movie, I can't remember the title, but she played, she's known for playing these women who are, they're not beaten down, but they're going through a lot of struggles, a lot of mental strain and stress. And she just is able to really shine in this. She brings a lot of heart. She brings a lot of warmth. She's really funny. Paul Bettany is also incredibly funny. And he was saying that they kind of mimicked their behaviors after Dick Van Dyke. You see a lot of Lucille Ball also in it. Also, you're going to definitely see Bewitched. That is a show where, Dick Van Dyke, and I know that's a separate show, but you're able to see a lot of kind of that comedic element with, "Hey, my wife is a witch, and look, I'm going to do dishes," and she can't wiggle her nose, but she'll magically wave her hands around, and it's going to just be a really great time. Now, also, this kind of reminded me of Pleasantville. Many people don't exactly remember Pleasantville. It starred Tobey Maguire. This was a movie that was about the modern day of the era, that he ends up getting stuck in a classic 50s TV show. And the reason why I say that is because, yes, this looks like a TV show, but there are elements of surprise, which I will not go into, where there are specks of color. And this is not to say, it'll travel from the modern day to the present day in terms of TV. But when you're stuck in that 50s, there is a moment where there's a little speck of color and something doesn't exactly feel or look right. And you'll kind of get more explanation as the show goes on. but there are just these really moments in these small cracks in time that just seems a little bit weird and a little bit out there. The show also grabs a lot of elements from the Twilight Zone, the classic Zone, not the modern one. In that mystery and strangeness, there are really wonderful commercials that go back to the Hydra days. And if you watched any of the, say, the Civil War or the first Captain America, you're going to instantly recognize a lot of elements from those movies that they have kind of weaved in expertlessly into the show through the terms of commercials. Now, what exactly that means overall, I do not know, because they're not revealing anything in the first 3 episodes. The first 2 episodes is kind of that really happy, nice moment of them being a couple, of them just living their lives, and elements, like I said, elements of corniness, but it really is sweet. And it kind of reminded me of a moment during the Marvel Universe Phase 3, where she was walking with Vision as regular Paul Bettany, and she was saying, I wish we could live like this. And to me, I kind of feel that I don't know whether or not this is all of her imagination, if she's stuck there. There are a lot of things that goes down in the 3rd episode, but to me, it kind of feels like what she would imagine that perfect wedded bliss to be like. And a lot of people learn through that way through TV. She wasn't able to experience that because, remember, when she was younger, she ended up signing up for the experiment along with her brother. So she never really had that classic childhood. It was always kind of in a state of war. Remember, she talked about the Stark bombs that was coming in the area. Remember the whole Age of Ultron. So to me, it just felt like this was what she would imagined that perfect life to be. Now, this also, as we already know, no spoilers, this is, excuse me, is a callback to Sword. Sword is in here. In what form or fashion, I don't know yet. And it's not revealed in the first 3 episodes. We do know that something is amiss, some things happen, but we're not going to really dive into that within the first 3 episodes. We also know that this show draws a lot of its elements from the House of M. That is the comic. We know that it is one of those shows that is going to bring about a lot of strangeness and a lot of weirdness. But we also know that when we last saw Wanda, she had to kill Vision. And this is when Thanos was trying to get the stone out of Vision. And she had this really beautiful scene between her and Vision where she was like, I don't want to do this. And he was saying that you have to. And he knew that, he was going to die. And she did it. And that's when Thanos came and was like, nope, reverse time, and killed him. So technically he died first. Wanda is no stranger to grief. She is no stranger to pain. Remember when, I think it was Age of Ultron, when they introduced her first along with her brother Pietro. Remember, he died saving Hawkeye and that kid. Remember, he was riddled with bullets and they put his body back onto the ship. So she is someone who knows pain. She knows grief. She knows loss. She is someone who I feel wasn't really able to process this. And you can also say that this whole show is this world that she based upon as an escapism. I don't know. Again, they're not explaining much in the first 3 episodes, but we do know that this is going to be one of those shows where a lot of weird things happen. She is aware that there's weird things happening. So is Vision. We've seen the trailers where he's like, I'm dead. And, they're both being told this, but through the show, at least in the first 3 episodes, they avoid that. And it is just extremely amazing. It is wonderful. And also another thing, it does bring a call back to Captain America. We have Teyonah sorry, I would probably mispronounce that, but Teyonah Parris, she is playing Monica, and the reason why they have brought her back is because they are creating kind of a connection, a thread. This is phase 4 that will thread together all of their TV shows and all of their movies going forward. And there are also parts that kind of call back to phase 3, So not Monica, Teyonah recently gave an interview. You could check out when I did the press conference with WandaVision. But one of the things that really stand it out is that she explained why she is in this show, and that WandaVision will explain what has happened between Captain Marvel, which took place in the 1990s, and the post-snap world following Avengers Endgame, which is set sometimes between 2023. Sorry. During that course of WandaVision, we found out what happened to Monica between when we last saw her in Captain Marvel. Remember, she was a kid. It was in the 90s. She was a kid, and we will also find out what happened when we last saw her in Captain Marvel. In Marvel, as a little girl, and where we pick her up now. So now she is a full-fledged adult. But we will learn about that time period. Remember, Monica has also been through a lot of trauma herself. She lost what she thought she lost. She lost her godmother, which would have been Captain Marvel. Oh, I don't believe my brain flipped that. But she she kind of lost Captain Marvel. She was introduced to all like aliens and all these different worlds, and then the snap happened where we don't know how she was affected. We don't know who she lost. We don't know if it was her mom. We don't know her friends, her dad, or what. But there's a lot of things that Monica is dealing with between that time period, and we do see her on the show. So everything will be answered in WandaVision pertaining to her show, and then later on, Monica will join Captain Marvel 2, which she is also joined by Miss Marvel. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of different wheels turning, and I really loved how they set up the character. I'm not going to explain how they set up the character, but moving on, we also know that Hahn is in it. Kathryn Hahn plays Agnes. I know there's been a lot of theories on whether or not she is a witch, if she is a villain. I do not know. I cannot tell you that, even if I did know. But no, in the first 3 episodes, like I said, we don't really know. So, this show also will go through a very interesting timeline where it follows the 1950s, 1960s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and then present day. Each I won't say episode, but it kind of feels like each episode-ish will have a different look, a different feel, a different way of how they speak, which, for someone who loves television, it's really great to see how they incorporate every kind of thing from go Bewitched, and like I said, Dick Van Dyke. There's parts of Roseanne in it when we get into the 90s. There is a feel of kind of the Brady Bunch. Remember that 70s show? And even though it was kind of present day, it was still kind of formatted in the 70s. So we get the look of that. There's the Partridge Family. So this is something that really celebrates TV as well. So overall, this is an amazing show. I can't wait to talk more about it. It premieres on January 15th, which is tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll be back. We'll break down each episode as it goes on. Remember, there's going to be 2 episodes on the 15th, and then the following week, you'll get that 1 episode per week. I really, really wished that you were able to see the first 3 episodes on Friday, just because there's a lot of things that they set up, and then boom, something happens, and there's a twist, and it's like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? So again, it has been really great. It's really wonderful. I look forward to watching more episodes and to talk more about WandaVision. So thank you again for watching, and make sure you watch WandaVision Disney Plus on January 15th.